On the war against Iran, the Pentagon has said fill the air with silence, but the headline is clear: the new escalation has gone largely unannounced by Washington. Over the past week, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth has called out testosterone levels in troops, created a task force to prosecute leakers, and quietly lifted disciplinary reviews for 8 Apache pilots who flew low over a crowded South Carolina coast on July 4. He posted a short tweet, "We'll fix this," and fluffed a line of troops across the visible Patriot Wall. But when it comes to the high-stakes flare at the front of the Iran conflict, Hegseth has stayed off the scene. He has said almost nothing about the Army's attained or forthcoming strategy after nearly 5 months of war. In the days after a fragile truce collapsed, the Pentagon has been almost mute about how the United States is moving forward with its campaign against Tehran. President Trump, meanwhile, is tweeting hotly in his style. "We're going to hit them very hard tonight," he told radio host Hugh Hewitt, "and there's not a damn thing they can do about it. They have nothing truly going other than big mouths." He has laid out a combative platform that feels freeform and incendiary. U.S. Central Command has been telling the world that it has been striking again every day, actually. They said they had launched an evening wave of strikes that day, hitting command centers, air defense sites, missile and drone production facilities, even coastal surveillance installations, all designed to degrade Iran's ability to threaten innocent mariners crewing commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. The language is spare: a list of targets, a few footnotes, and, of course, a handful of slick video clips and images that portray U.S. hardware in action. This is a familiar script. When U.S. troops are in active conflict, the Pentagon has traditionally had a rapid tempo of news briefings. For example, in the first 5 weeks of the 2003 Iraq War, leadership held more than 30 briefings with senior officials overseeing the operation. Today, for the first 6 weeks of the Iran war, senior officials have only spoken at 8 press events, a severe drop. Sean Parnell, the Pentagon spokesman, has tried to justify the lull, saying Central Command had been giving comprehensive, real-time updates on strikes and operations in Iran and the Strait of Hormuz. He added that both President Trump and Secretary Hegseth have been offering clear *M, unfiltered insight directly to the public online. But the statistics speak simply: 1 briefing slotted in 8 weeks versus 30 plus in Iraq. The numbers raise the question of transparency. A public lack of briefing is more than anecdotal, it is a shift in methodology. The Pentagon's normal engagement is to intervene in the narrative through daily decks, live cams, and in-the-moment testimonies. Now, the exception appears to be the choice to stay flanked by the president's radio soundbites and the general's own silent updates. The United States is still in a hostile exchange with Iran. This war has escalated to continuous, daily airstrikes. So the division between public narrative and operational reality has grown. That raises the question: is this a new doctrine of secrecy, a casualty of overload, or perhaps an effort to keep the American audience anchored? The article stops at the point of last major briefings, but the pattern is stark. For listeners, the takeaway is simple: the command saying this war in Iran has changed its talk. There is no large publicly scheduled briefing yet the war is still roaring. And who is keeping the public informed? The answer, therefore, is still mostly answered by President Trump's radio remarks, Hegseth's handful of tweets, and a Central Command that pronounces targets in paragraphs rather than press releases. We can see enough to know the U.S. is firing, but the plan behind the fire moves quietly behind closed doors. Keep listening for the next briefing, as the gap between advisories and action widens. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Alex Rivera, and Eula Wisterin at WorldScope. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed.